following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys talk some NFL draft, linebackers, and DBs. They're joined by a special guest as Al has a big announcement. And as always, they answer a listener question and wrap things up with a round of trivia. All that and more. On to the show. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 194. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glimpf, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glimpf. What's good with you, Al?
Man, what's going on, cousin? It is always good to be here on this show. It is an amazing day today as we received the verdict from George Floyd. So I'm just in a really good mood in just terms of positive energy is flowing through me today. Plus, as you mentioned in the intro, I got a nice little announcement we're going to make coming up. So I'm excited about that. Plus my Knicks is on a winning streak, and that always makes me feeling good. So good to be here.
No doubt, man. So let me ask you really quickly. So the Knicks are on a winning streak. The Yankees are 5-10. Are you willing to take that trade off, or you want them to go back to normal?
So it's hard because I'm greedy, but everything being everything, considering the Knicks haven't been rolling like this in years, I'll take the trade-off. If the Yankees have to have a down year just for the Knicks to have some unexpected success and be seeing some positive signs of a rebuild, I'll do that trade-off.
Well, I saw a meme the other day that kind of summed it up. It was an Avengers meme, and one of the Avengers was like, "Yo, the Knicks are going to the playoffs." And was the guy that had my mind went blank. The guy that all the Avengers were fighting in the Endgame. The big dude.
Who's that guy? What's his name? Wow. Go ahead.
Right, I can't remember, but I don't know why I can't. But he's like, so the Knicks are going to the playoffs. What did it cost? And he was like, the Yankees. So, that's the trade-off.
The reality is everybody can't win every year. So, you just have to accept that. And again, I'm really happy to see that the Knicks are playing good basketball. I mean, we've been talking about them, every other week and just trying to let folks know that there's some pieces here. And even last year, there were some good pieces. I really liked R.J. Barrett. And this year, there's Quickly, and Randall is playing good ball overall. And D. Rose is back playing a veteran presence. So, I don't want to get into the Knicks, so that's not what this segment's about. But everything being everything, I'm feeling good with the Knicks.
No doubt. Well, as always, before we get into the meat of the show and introduce our guest and let you drop this big announcement we got for you,
yes.
Just want to do a little house cleaning like we always do. Just want to shout out our patrons. People always ask, what's the best way to support the network? Go to patreon.com/GoDefyLife and become a patron. You can help us support our growth, allow us to host events, and continue to work in our community. For less than your favorite fast food combo, you can support Defy Life. So again, that's patreon.com Go Defy Life. And as always, you can find our podcast hub at defylifepods.com, our branded apparel at defylifegear.com, and at the granddaddy of them all, the originator, all of our written content is at godefylife.com. And also you can find our branded apparel in stores at Cola Kicks in Columbia, South Carolina. So check it out. We everywhere. So if you want to find us, you know where to get to us. Al, did I cover everything?
My brother, like a Walt Frazier, a.k.a. Clyde, play-by-play analysis is music to my ears.
Good God, you know how to make a brother feel. Thank you.
Yes.
Because you could have told me I was like a Charles Smith layup in crunch time. And you didn't tell me that. So I appreciate you.
I could have said that, but then I would have lost half of our Nick listeners through trauma because it still brings tears to my eyes to think about. And I can remember exactly where I was when that happened like it was yesterday.
Damn it, don't we all?
So.
Well, good, brother. So without further ado,
Yes.
I'm going to let you take it from here, man.
Okay.
You have a big announcement. You also have a guest that I want you to bring in because he's going to be pretty pertinent to your announcement. So take it from here, man. Let everybody know what's going to be happening and what you've been up to.
Here's what I've been up to, and thank you. So my big announcement is that I am launching a new limited podcast series. And the series, podcast series is called Aftergate, like Watergate, but Aftergate. And it's going to be conversations with Colgate alumni of color. And the special guest that is on here with us tonight is my co-host, my partner in crime, my bruh for 30 years plus, Eman Dubois, aka Jerry. And he's going to be my co-host on the show. And before I let him say a piece, I'll just tell you what the show is all about. It really comes from this. So Colgate ALC, Alumni of Color, is a group of alums who have created an organization of alumni, Blacks, Latinos, Asians, people of color. And now we are engaged in networking as well as helping students who are still on campus. And the organization is about 35 years old. And it really started before we actually got on campus as a way for alumni who were dealing with just the regular, real issues of life, trying to figure out better ways to network, also trying to figure out ways to engage the students who were still on campus who were dealing with some of the similar issues that they dealt with as students when they were there, right? So when we were students, the AOC was very pivotal in helping us navigate different political issues, social justice, and just helping us also network once we got off that campus. Well, one of the things that we've been dealing with over these years, even though we've done fairly well to engage, we've done fairly well to still stay connected to students on campus. One of the things we struggled with is really understanding, appreciating the great accomplishment and stories of the alumni of color once they've left campus. Thus, Aftergate is our attempt to document some of the amazing accomplishments, professions, expertise of these men and women who have done great things on campus and also done great things off campus. And when this pandemic has kind of got us to really be more reflective and even engage with some of our alumni, it's just been really evident that as you're meeting people, you're like, wow, how come I don't know you and what you've done? And we are like, you know what? Here's our effort to help in that regard, to just have these conversations, put them out once a week. And I think the listeners, whether you are a Colgate alum or not, I think y'all are really going to appreciate the variety and diversity of this alumni. And at the end of the day, they're reflective of a lot of campuses. But this is just, the Colgate slice of it. And I'm just want to say I'm really grateful for my network for entrusting in us to take this opportunity to just focus on some of these alums. So that's what the show is all about. But now let me bring in my man, Eman Dubois, aka Jerry. Say hello to the peoples, my brother.
Hello, my peoples. I am definitely excited about the opportunity. I'm honored first and foremost because anytime you get to do, any kind of production with the Glimpse cartel, it's big. They don't just do lightly. They don't move lightly. They move with impact. They move with intentionality, and I think that that's something that I respect. Obviously through Alvin and my relationship with him over the years, but as I've gotten to know the Glimpse family, that is definitely part.
Oh, I think we lost Jerry on our.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get him back on. Jerry, as you can tell, is joined through our. First of all, he must be on an iPhone, maybe. But he's through. Who's a bad sponsor? The right now he's brought to us by NewYorkYankees.com.
Who's struggling?
He's struggling right now. Let me get Jerry back on.
Okay.
Well, yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, no problem. You got your back?
Yeah, man. Pardon that. I'm not sure why that happened.
No, you're good. Yeah, so we got your back. So you last thing we heard was the Glimpse Cartel. I like the sound of that. Go ahead.
I like that too. I'm gonna have to get that. We gotta get that shirt made up or hat or something.
Right, Jerry, don't copyright that. We got you.
I'm not sure what part I can drop, but okay, I say okay.
Oh man, but likewise, man. Before you guys, go any further, I'm honored as well that you guys are doing this and that you're doing it on our network, and I feel like this is a part of history because people of color don't really get a chance to have voices across a lot of major college campuses, and especially after they leave. So this is monumental, and especially not only for Colgate, but I think this could be a platform for a lot of other organizations and institutions to give a voice to people who have moved on and have stories that deserve to be heard. So thank you both for entrusting us to hear your voice and to lend voices to other people.
Well, you're welcome. And, as I mentioned, I think in many ways, the story of our institution is reflective of many institutions, right? So as you get a chance of peek into Colgate's history, you're going to learn things like some of our famous alumni, like Adam Clayton Powell was alumni of Colgate, and people might get to learn a little bit about him, what his life was like on campus, as people who were impacted or know or familiar with his story might share it throughout some of these interviews. A couple of, I think some college presidents, like one of Morehouse's president was a Colgate alum. So that story might come up as we target some of our more prestigious alums and people who really have had some significant impact at our campus. You're going to get to talk to a woman who was part of the first class of women at Colgate's campus. Oh, wow. And she was not just an amazing person on campus in terms of what she dealt with, but you'll get to hear some of the books she's written, how she's engaged the institution. She has like a dorm named after her on our campus now. So it's things like that again, I think there are many institutions and people who've graduated from colleges are going to relate to. And to your point, I hope that it will only encourage and inspire other groups to say, hey, let's have a conversation with some of our alums who we might not have taken the time to hear what they've done, because the truth of the matter is, man, there are some amazing people doing some amazing things, and we just trying to capture it.
All right. Yeah. So to the both of you, I want you to ask Jerry, you first. How do you think your and Al's relationship is going to benefit this conversation, but then also what uniqueness does it lend to the history that you and Al have? What uniqueness does it offer this conversation?
Well, as far as the benefit goes, I think that our relationship has always just evolved over time with life and opportunities, whether, whatever path our lives take, whether it be professional, whether it be personal, whether it be spiritual, whether it be painful, whether it be glorious, like we've been able to share.
Yo, Jerry got to leave George Steinbrenner alone, man.
I'm like, what we haven't been able to share is reception.
Right.
That's what I need. That's what I want to share with him. Some better reception. His is struggling right
Bars.
Oh, that's funny.
Jerry? Got you back. Yeah.
What's up, my brother?
I think.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm sitting at my desk where I do all my Zoom calls. I'm not sure why that's a problem, but my apologies.
No problem. But yeah, carry on.
So what I was getting at was that I just feel like I don't look at it as doing this is going to have some type of particular benefit on our relationship other than it's going to continue to allow it to grow and evolve as it always has done that. And so this just allows us to have a platform that we're able to share that growth and evolution with others because of what we're going to be addressing and who we'll have involved and our perspectives and in many ways that we are aligned that'll sort of present itself, and then in other areas we'll be able to have perspectives that are different because our lives have been different, but I just am excited about it because we've always been able to figure out how our paths can be multifaceted.
Yo, you know what this reminds me of? So, remember we was trying to finish a show one night?
Oh God, yeah. And my signal kept dropping.
Yes, it kept. And then we like, all right, say it real quick. But then we get on a tangent and like, damn, you should have cut it off.
I'm gonna take this outside and try.
Oh man, this is great.
All right, one more shot. So that was the first half of that part of it. Is that I just think it's going to be organic, and I think we're just going to continue to elevate, in ways that we've done before, just as a different platform to do it. And then, as far as your second part of your question, I'm sorry.
Just the uniqueness that the history of you and Al, like the history that you guys have. How does that offer your own spin and your own uniqueness to those conversations?
Well, I think that. Both, the parallels are amazing. I mean, they're pretty straightforward. I mean, both of us coming out of New York City as city boys, coming out of public school, New York City Board of Ed, which has a lot of labels and stereotypes and what people think that was supposed to be like. In and of itself, it gives us an opportunity to kind of like demystify that, and give some perspective on what's accurate and what's not, and that'll just be the start of it, because then Colgate comes into our lives, and how we navigate Colgate both individually and collectively lends to our uniqueness, and then just how we then sort of leaped into the world post Colgate as a result of some of those similar Colgate experiences, some of those similar New York experiences, but then the uniqueness of just Al being Al and me being me, and how we've just been able to just continue on this life journey, but yet, drawing on those parallels when they're there, and then at the sometimes uplifting each other in our own ways when, times where I've been up and was able to support Al, and times when Al's been up and able to support me, and just being able to be our brother's keeper has always been, I think, the unspoken truth of our friendship.
No doubt. Al, anything you can add to that? Because that was pretty well said.
Definitely well said and accurate. And I think what listeners will learn, whether you are from Colgate or not, I think you're going to appreciate that, one, there is an amazing synergy between me and him that has really existed since our first summer of hanging, meeting each other. And like it really goes back to the summer right after high school graduation, and where we went up to Colgate, had like a little summer program, summer bridge program, and it was about 40 students that were up there before they actually stepped foot on campus. And so the foundation of the relationship really started there, builds all the way 4 years of school, and then this is our 30th anniversary from when we graduated. So you're talking about 34 years of a relationship in which there was many opportunities where we are building with each other, building for each other. And I think, to his point about there's still some variation in our perspective in our lives, that I think also will be evident, because while there's been synergy, there's still very distinctness in who we are, where we're from, despite the amazing similarities. And I think that's what like real connection and relationship and friendships and love and brotherhood is all about. It's not about being the same per se, but it's just about being connected. And I think that's what people are going to see and hear and learn is, wow, these brothers are connected. And then this connection is then going to highlight others, and people will see the connection of these others, whether it's a real true connection that has a lot of depth in it because this is somebody we went to school with or was a mentor or people that you interacted with afterwards, or just the connection because of the fact that we have experienced something similar, which is the Colgate experience of students of color being a minority at a rural, prestigious, predominantly white institution where the majority of the white students on there are middle to upper class. And where while we were there were a whole lot of us who were not middle and upper class. So there's that feeling like an outsider, trying to fit in, dealing with all of the issues. So I think that bond that Colgate people have will also be evident, and people will see how our friendship just kind of deals with that, because we embrace that experience over the years. And I think to both of our parts, when we look at our journey post Colgate, after Gate, there has been times where both of us have not embraced that experience. And I think that'll be pretty interesting to learn, like, well, when did you start embracing it and why did you start embracing it? And it's just going to be a very great, cool way to just learn more about each other and others. So looking forward to that. And I can't help but think about, when you talk about this friendship, there was a lot of rides home from Colgate together. A lot of conversations when we lived together, because we, 2 years on campus, we lived in the same apartment or same house. So, many of these conversations, will probably remind us of some of those conversations as young men trying to figure this world out. And so it's going to be good. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, last thing, your own personal backgrounds, like you just mentioned, a lot of history you guys created at Colgate. Al, your years, what was your span at Colgate, and your major? Just tell people about your time at Colgate, and then Jerry, you as well.
Yep. So I'm a graduate of August Martin High School, class of '87. Attend, attended Colgate from 1987 to 1991. I was a religion major, which is, it's interesting in all in itself and how I became a religion major, but still a religion major, and went on to graduate school at Emory.
No doubt. Jerry?
And ran those concurrent years. Graduated A. Philip Randolph High School in Harlem, New York. And,
Campus, aka Campus.
AKA known as Campus, right? Mm-hmm. Correct. And people don't know the story behind that, but it was because the high school was initially on the campus of City College, the CUNY system, and so they called it Campus High School for short. But that was my freshman year, and then there was just mad mayhem on campus between high school students and CUNY students that didn't go over very well. And then they moved us by sophomore year into a building that used to be occupied by the former Music and Art High School, which was on 135th and Convent, that they had vacated, and they had merged with the School of the Performing Arts in Lower Manhattan and became one school. Our A. Philip Randolph folk then slid over into that building. And then ended up at Colgate that summer. Culture shock, we'll talk about that. Summer 87, and then graduated in 91. Ended up at Columbia University Teachers College, do my graduate work there. And I was in Colgate, they combined department sociology and anthropology. So I was called a SOAN major, even though I kind of focused a lot more on the sociology side of my studies. And that was it. And we'll talk about how the major came to life, because to me that's a funny ass story of it could be a YouTube video now on how not to pick your major. But we'll save that one.
Well, I mean, it sounds like there could be an entire introductory episode just y'all talking to each other and get your own and telling your own stories, because I want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's going to make this dope, is because it's just going to be so easy for us to converse, because we've been doing it, and as we reminisce on things, there's going to be things that he going to remember. I'll be like, oh, you're right, I forgot about that, whether intentionally or not. And there's going to be things that I'm going to bring up. He's going to be like, oh, I forgot about that. And that's without even talking to guests. So we start adding the hit list of guests. Yeah, I'm not sure how long the show gonna run, but we might need to really be intentional about, giving those guests that opportunity, because I think there's gonna be so much, and that's what I'm super excited about is, bringing perspectives from guests that maybe either we've heard of or never heard of, but I feel like we're finally getting, at 51 years of age, finally beginning to understand what this whole world of networking is about. And we're just using this digital platform to do it. But there have been cats doing this since they set foot on Colgate. And let's just say I ain't know how and didn't know the importance of it until I was been in this world and realized it's all about relationships. So I'm super excited, as Al mentioned, to meet people that have done tremendous things, from the famous to the infamous. But we got some powerful brothers and sisters out there that are just everywhere. And I'm just excited about connecting the dots.
And honestly, that is so much of why we are doing this, is that while we are, as a community, the AOC, getting better at reaching out and connecting and doing programs and stuff, what we're not our best at is leveraging and connecting what we are doing around the world. And so why I think I've already got such an amazing response from the alums that I've just shared, hey, what do y'all think about this idea? This is what we're going to do. They're like, oh my God, Al, that's amazing. And we can't wait to hear and support. And when you just, I mentioned we are 30 years past graduation. Well, 30 years of alums have graduated after me. Not to mention that the woman that I'm talking about being in that first class of Colgate alums, well, she graduated 17 years ahead of us. So, we're going to have access to almost 50 years of alums, and even
Mm-hmm.
beyond that, because actually,
Mm-hmm.
me and him were on campus a year or two ago for an entrepreneur workshop, and it was a brother who I think he graduated like in the 60s or 50s, an older
Mm-hmm.
gentleman who was a scientist. And
He's like a dean at Columbia now or something like
yes,
that.
so that's the type of people that many of our alums have no idea even exist. We didn't. We were sitting there blown away, like, who is this guy? And where'd he come from? So, like, there are 60, 70 years of alums that we can access that people will get to learn from. And so to the question of, I say limited podcast because, we're just going to, there's no set end. But we want to definitely try our best to capture as many as possible. And, we'll just kind of let it run its course. But I'm excited to hear and see how many people are excited, and just can't wait till we get it out there. So looking forward to getting it done and getting it started. And again, appreciate this little preview and introduction to our Defy Life listeners.
No doubt, man. I'm excited about this. I've seen the logo. Shit is dope. So can't wait to.
And
get
by
that
the way,
out there.
I got tons. I know Aldo does too. I'm really excited. I was really surprised that you used the pics that I sent, because I was just sending them for kicks and giggles. But we took that at the airport when we were going up there for alumni. At least one photo was. But we got tons of images going back to literally 87, 88, 89, and then years that follow that I think could be like a nice little element to and then having other folks send pictures. I'm sure people got folks of us that we don't even know about, and then with other guests and so forth. So it could also be a nice little visual too, like take folks memory lane.
That's good to know, and that could be something we could run that by y'all, because we could always ask for guests to send us some old photos from when they were there.
Oh yeah,
and to add to you, because I was going to say to all of our listeners, be on the lookout for the Aftergate social media pages going up. So we can also always add media and photos to those pages of guests that'll be on. So social media pages will be going up soon, and as well as their page on DefyLifePods.com. So all of that stuff, you'll get to know Al and Jerry intimately, and as well as all the guests. I'm looking forward to it.
Same here.
All
Like
right,
people are ready to sign up right now.
no doubt. And that's the beautiful thing. Eventually, of course, the goal is for instead of you looking for guests come to you. So I have a strong feeling that'll be the case very soon.
Very soon.
No doubt. Oh man, well, Al, Jerry, thank you again. I'm looking forward to this, to grow this thing, and hear some stories and learn some more about you guys. And Jerry, welcome to the family. The
Thank
Defy
you,
Life
brother.
family.
I
You're
really
already in the
appreciate
Glint family. I've been in the Defy Life family, but yeah. No doubt.
looking forward to what's to come, brother. Another chapter.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon. You have a good night, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
All right, take care, bro. Yep.
Oh man, that was great. And Jerry has officially left us. Yeah. Al, you Alan?
No, I'm here.
Okay. You there? Oh man, that was good stuff. Again, y'all, the name is Aftergate. Be ready for it within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
So again, I've seen the logo. Shit is fire, and good representation of who Al and Jerry are just in one snapshot. And again, look out for the social media pages for Aftergate Podcast. And you get to know Al and Jerry and get to know their guests on a weekly basis. And like I said, man, I have a feeling, maybe I'm a bit biased, but this thing could spark some fires under institutions beyond Colgate, beyond just a group of people from Colgate. It could be limitless to how this thing could grow, just based off of opportunity.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it at all until you mentioned it, but you really, I would not be surprised either. I think you are right on point where there are going to be others who are listening and think, wow, like, whether it's from college, high school, church, family, whatever, like,
sports organizations, anywhere. Like,
yeah, let's have these conversations and share to a broader community what people are doing. Because I think we need to take advantage of these platforms to not necessarily wait and say, why hasn't so and so published or put out our own stories? And there are, we have the technology, we have the platforms, and it's just about going out there and empowering yourself to do it. So I appreciate the medium, the access to do it, and just looking forward to it, because you don't have this opportunity all the time. So we're going to do our best to honor it and bring some heat.
Yeah, no doubt, and put your own twist on it, like only you and Jerry can.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Cool. We're gonna get on to our regular show and just some knuckleheads talking about sports. That worked for me.
Works for me. This is what we do.
And again, as we were wait for Thomas Stevens, he had I ain't gonna say where he's at. Apparently, there's a lot of hoaxes going on, and he put the squash on the last rumors we heard what he was doing when he was out. So all I know is I saw him running out of our offices in downtown Nebraska, jumping into a Porsche. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where is like for a James Bond movie?
I don't know. I just saw a Porsche and a white lady. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's Mission Impossible.
Maybe. It could be Mission Impossible. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
Nah, because last time we ran with speculation on our show.
Right.
It was refuted and it was debunked the following week by Pooh that said, those are just rumors, and he rejected our sources. So
right. So I'm gonna leave him, his Porsche, and his white lady alone, and just let it sort itself out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're gonna talk about the draft.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Now, if y'all hear some tires screeching and a car pulling up in the parking lot in the background, that's Pooh, rushing back in. We may ask him about where he's been. We may not. We'll see.
Well, we got to ask him because, the listeners are going to want to know.
All right.
The listeners are going to want to know, like, hold on. Is it true?
Right.
Is it true, Pooh? They're going to want to.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Well, like we mentioned, we got just our last week to talk about the draft prospects before we do our mock draft episode next week. And then get ready for the actual draft next Thursday starting. That's crazy.
Well, can before we just go into the next segment, can we just take 1 minute and I just need to hear from the dad of the rising star. Can I just get, what did it feel like on that show last week? Hopefully you listened last week and heard Lil Link break down the draft in such an amazing manner that we were all blown away in the moment and afterwards. So just curious to know, one, what did it feel as a dad? And two, did he get a case of the big head this week? Like, look, Dad, I'm a podcast star. You can't tell me to take the garbage out. Like, I'm just curious. How did the week go?
Man. Well, it went so I was expecting one from him to be like, oh man, I can't wait to hear me. He didn't even listen to the show. Like, so he's kind of, he treated it like a veteran. Like, you know what? We 200 episodes in, so we don't listen to ourselves every week.
Right.
I know I don't. I damn sure hope y'all don't, because I get tired of hearing myself.
Right.
He was just like, yeah, I heard the snippet. That was cool. So when is the mock? I want to be on the mock. I said, okay. So he was, he took it in stride. But I think it was, I was more proud of him than he was of himself. He was definitely excited. I said, we're going to do the mock draft in a couple of weeks. You want to? Oh, yeah, I definitely want to be on. So as a father of a son who can offer insightful and worthy sports banter, I'm sure you understand. And who was able to grasp it at an early age, I'm sure you understand. It's so, like, because you hope, like, even to your dismay, but to my glee, your son is a Steelers fan. You didn't get like the total package, but I'll take it. At least his uncle, he got my team. So he could have been a Redskins fan. Could have been worse.
He could have been a Redskins fan.
Right. But so not only to have a kid who can, at an early age, who can speak pretty insightfully about sports, and you don't just brush it off as kid speak. And then two, to be so focused and understand, like, to be able to understand my niche interests, like the draft. A lot of people hate to talk about the draft in depth because it's such a niche conversation. And then also to not get on the microphone and freeze up was because a lot of people do it, even grown-ups. So it was great to like witness him just be himself and kind of be at home on the mic and want to come back and not be afraid. And if he was afraid, he overcame it. So it was dope. So I'm proud of him. Can't wait to this mock, and so I can clown him about some of his picks.
Well, I think he's such a natural, and whether it's, I've seen him a couple of times now in the spotlight from the podcast, and then I saw him like rhyme, and so I just think, that speaks to a level of self-confidence that can only be, to me, when you see kids with that level of self-confidence, it usually is instilled at home. So, to me, that's a great sign, not only of where he's going, but it's also a great sign in terms of what y'all are doing parenting-wise, because and from a parent's perspective and a sibling perspective. So shout out to Dane, his brother, because he also is being a sibling in a way that is not ruining this young man's confidence. So all of what's going on in that home, I think, needs to be acknowledged, because he is just, to me, a product of what's going on.
I appreciate that, man. And, it's kind of, Jerry just finished talking about the Glimp Cartel and how we move with intention. It's kind of a generational thing. I know that, our parents, our uncles, whether it's, cross family, it would be inter-family, inter-household. You tell me you're interested in something, you tell me you want to do something, that's all you got to do. I'm going to support you, I'm going to push you. I'm going to remind you that you said it, and I'm going to hold it against you when you start slacking. So those are just things that were instilled in us and ingrained in us from early age. And so if you tell me you want to do something, I'm going to hold you to that. And, if you tell me you don't want to do something, well, you can quit after the season's over, but you're going to finish the season out, but don't quit in the middle. So it's those things that are, just being instilled in him because they were instilled in me and his mom. So, you understand how just naturally we pass things on to our kids because that's what we know.
Yep.
And So we've seen it across the board. Your son had a podcast for a while. And him and he dragged some of his friends in on it because it was dope to him. So it's no coincidence that this that our kids keep popping up places where they say they want to be.
There it is. There it is. Appreciate you giving a little insight to the listeners, because I'm sure there was folks who were listening like, dang.
Right.
Does this dude have a script? Like,
all right. And like he's pronouncing names I didn't know how to pronounce. Right. But everybody, thank you for your comments and your calls and your texts. Appreciate that. He appreciated it. But next time I'll give y'all his number so you can call him directly.
Text him.
Right. Oh man. Well, let's go on and talk about some linebackers, man. While we wait on Thomas Stevens. So we as usual, we're gonna talk about tonight. We got linebackers and DBs. So we got 3 positions to talk about tonight. So we'll make this quick, as quick as we can. So let me get your top 3 off-ball linebackers. So those are guys who are linebackers who do not rush the quarterback on a regular basis, like edge rushers. So top 3 for those listeners who don't know. It's kind of a different age in football. So if you're listening, you probably know, but just a quick explanation. So the guys like T.J. Watt, Von Miller, those are linebackers who are edge rushers. We talked about them last week. So guys who are off-ball linebackers will be the Devin Bushes and the Jamie Collins. It's the guys for the Buccaneers. Devin White. Yeah. Devin White. The guys of that ilk who line up off the ball and run and chase the ball. So, used to be known as inside linebackers or outside in the 4-3. They're now pretty much known as off-ball linebackers. So those are the differences, guys we're talking about tonight. So who are your top 3 off-ball linebackers, Al?
So I think...
And a sleeper.
I think it starts at Penn State, Micah Parsons. I think with his 40 time, people are instantly, I think it was like 4.36 or 7 or something, but it was under 4.4. With that type of speed, people are automatically looking at him as an athlete in the Devin White, Devin Bush perspective of, this guy is going to be able to change a defense, being able to get from kind of in between the guards, or be able to shoot the gap or go from sideline to sideline, and just be a force chasing plays down. So I think while it was interesting to see him drop from like the real early draft projections, because some people had him up in like top 5 area, to now people, some people don't even have him top 10. So I think that's interesting to see him drop like that, but I don't think it's really I don't think it's a reflection of him as a player and his talent. I think it's more a reflection of the value on that position. As people, quarterbacks and wide receivers are being moved up on the board just because people value, I think, those positions, and linemen a little higher than him. But I don't think he did anything talent-wise or production-wise to drop. So I think it starts there. My second one would be the brother out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owuzu Koromoa.
Yes. Or JOK. Or Jock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jock is probably what I will say when I'm not reading it in front of me and can pronounce every syllable. But I like him. He's definitely a little smaller, but I think coming out of Notre Dame, he's been prepared, played top talent, and I could see him going late first round. Next guy, I'm going with kid out of Kentucky, Jamin Davis. That would be my number.
Jamin Davis.
Yes. Playmaker. And again, him being in with Kentucky, got a chance to see him just because SEC. But just somebody who I think works hard, puts in the good work, and I think will continue to grow because of his work ethic.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely 3 playman, and like you said, in a vacuum, these are 3 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a thing like you mentioned is position value, and players tend to slide, especially at positions like off-ball backer, where teams usually think they can get a guy later in the draft and get some good. So, but talent-wise, between these 3 are definitely first-round capable, as well as a guy like Zaven Collins out of Tulsa.
Like him too.
Yeah.
Like him too.
So definitely those top 4 guys are first-round material. Who's your sleeper?
My sleeper, I'm going with brother out of Georgia, Monty Rice. Somebody, I think you look at Monty, he has some injuries, so I think that is going to allow him to really fall. And plus, he's a little undersized. Mm-hmm. But I think he has the quicks to make a lot of plays. And I think even if initially he might start as a special teamer on some teams to just kind of make plays that way as he proves, health-wise he can hang in a league, I think somebody's going to get themselves a really good player with Monty Rice out of Georgia. I think to come, you start for 3 years at Georgia at this day and age, you making plays.
Right. Yeah, I like Monty Rice a lot. I think the biggest knock on him is his pass coverage. In fact, he was a guy who he was a 2-down backer in college, taking off the field mostly on 3rd down. So that's kind of a concern. In college, if you're already being taken off the field for any reason. But that's why he's a sleeper. If he could do everything, he'd be a first-round pick. So, So, those are the guys you want to know what they do well, and hopefully you can get the best out of them when they're sleepers like that. Cool. So, moving on to our DBs. First up, we got cornerbacks. Who are your top 3 corners? And this is position of interest for you.
Yeah, definitely, because this is something that the Cowboys are in need. And at number 10, many people think that's where they're drafting. That's what they're going for. And not only that, but they also feel like when it comes time to the Cowboys, that this is going to be the first defensive player picked in the draft, which I think is amazing that 9 picks will have gone by in this draft. And it's possible that the Cowboys will pick the first defensive player. And when you look at the mocks that are going down, and then not only they just make sense. It's not just that people are reaching. It just really looks like there are 9 offensive players that could easily be picked by the teams in front of the Cowboys.
Yeah, and when you think about it, when you think about it, you think there's 5 quarterbacks that could go in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is another historic wide receiver class.
Correct.
And a deep offensive tackle class. So yeah, absolutely. The
Easily,
Cowboys
right?
They could have the pick of the litter and out of the defense. So yeah. Wow.
So then I think that's pretty interesting. My top cornerbacks, I like, and even though this is not who they have, many people have him going later past the Cowboys. Most people have Surtain going to the Cowboys, but I like Caleb Farley as my number 1 guy. I like his attitude, even though he's been hurt, and I think that's the biggest issue is his injuries. But I think he's productive, got the size, got the length, speed and everything. I think he's the best guy, but I do think Sertan is just a notch below him, and I like him a lot as well. I think he's very polished, has gone up against top talent on his team and in SEC, which to me speaks a lot. Like you talk about being able to translate into the NFL and being able to cover NFL wide receivers. Well, if you're doing it every day in practice and you're doing it, 5-6 times every season when you're going up against the LSUs, the Georgias, the South Carolinas of the world, Clemson's, Ohio State, like to me, and you are still being a top performer, that usually translates well. I think he's good in press and zone coverage. His father was an NFL player, which usually helps in terms of the mindset and work ethic of what it takes to be in the NFL. So I think that's going to translate well for him as well. So I like Sertan a lot. And then I know a lot of people have J.C. Horn next. I like the brother out of Northwestern, Greg Newsome.
Okay.
I think he's solid, playmaker, good tackler. Another person who was hurt, but I just like he gets to be around the ball a lot, and so I would just to mix it up a little bit, I'd throw him in my top 3.
Okay. And who's your sleeper?
So sleeper, I'm gonna go with, and I'm gonna go with another kid out of Georgia. And I guess it just shows you, the games I'm watching on Saturday. But I'm gonna go with Eric Stokes out of Georgia. I think he has good pedigree coming out of UGA. Has the breakups, has the picks. His size, he's only 6 foot. We'll see. But I think he's somebody who, whoever picks him, going to get a good cornerback.
Yeah, I like Stokes a lot. I think I hear some tires screeching outside.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. It's a Porsche and a white lady. Oh, shit, it's Pooh.
Oh, wow. What's up?
What's up, Pooh?
What up, gentlemen?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man. What's good, man? How was your trip?
Man, I just stepped in the door. All I could do was wash my hands.
Right.
Make sure I wasn't transferring any kind of pathogens or anything.
No doubt. Well, like I said, when I stepped out of my office here in downtown Nebraska, all I saw was you heading out on a Porsche with a white lady driving. So I didn't know what was going on. I told Al maybe we'd ask, maybe we wouldn't. He said we got to ask because the people want to know. So you okay?
I'm good, man. Y'all wow. Yeah.
All right.
So
was Mission Impossible, I guess.
Right. We heard rumors, and we didn't want to run with the rumors that it was for a James Bond movie or possibly a Mission Impossible remake. So we just figured we'd ask you.
I feel you. It's all false.
Hey,
okay, man.
Yeah.
Mystery, man.
We get bad info, man.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Check our sources.
All right, man. A mystery. Give me your top 3 cornerbacks, man. Does that work for you? and a sleeper.
Top 3 corners. Okay. Let me get pull my notes.
And while you looking for that, I'm internally cursing Al out for leaving J.C. Horn out of his top 3.
I heard you guys. I heard him talking about Horn, and my barber cuts his father's hair, and he was Yeah, he was talking about Horn. He was like, "Yeah, I cut Joe hair all the time." I was like, "Joe, what Joe doing here?" He was like his son at Carolina, and I was like, "Really?" No clue.
Yeah, I remember JC when he was in like midget league, like flag football.
Well,
He was a friend of mine. Had a son who was playing on JC's team, and Joe was, of course, backing them. You know, kids had all kind of cleats, and Joe funded everything. Right. So, but JC was, of course, flag football. They just give him the ball to the best player. So he was a star since he was little. But yeah, the kid has always been nice.
He's how tall is JC? He's like 6'1"?
6'1".
6'1".
Okay, that's great size. I like, I guess, man. I guess some people have the likes. I like Pat. I like Pat at 1. I guess because of the pedigree, but I mean Bama, elite coaching. And again, like I say, the pedigree seems to have elite ball skills, and I like JC. I guess I like JC. JC at 2. I didn't know. I knew it was always a Carolina player that they were talking about, and they're always showing a guy. And I saw Horn, but I didn't. It didn't even dawn on me that was Joe's son, but they did talk about him a lot. So 6'1", that's ideal size, for a corner. So I'll definitely throw JC there at 2. And I've been hearing a lot about Stokes. Good speed, good ball skills, good tackler. So I go ahead and round it off with him. But I'm hearing a lot about Greg Newsome II from Northwestern. We've coveting him. I see a lot of mocks have us taking him. Then I think he burst out and ran like a 4.39 or a 4.4 flat or something like that. They say he has elite ball skills as well.
So, question. Sorry to cut you off, but you and Al both mentioned. You and Al both mentioned 40 times. Al mentioned Michael Parsons running in the 4.3s. You mentioned Greg Newsome running in the 4.3s. It's a unique time for us because we don't have the combine to get all the electronic times. Are y'all trusting all these fast hand times from because hand times are usually a little bit off. That's why we wait for the electronic times at the combine. Are y'all trusting all these times we seeing this year when 240-pound linebackers are running 4.3s and cornerbacks we never heard of are running 4.3s? Like I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, you gotta trust because it's all we got. But
right.
You do understand that this is a special year, like last year. And at the end of the day, they're just 40 times. It's really about how fast you play.
Right.
And so this is what I'm thinking the good teams are going to do is, focus more on the game tape. And what I've been doing is when I see all these 40 times, I'm adding 0.2 of a second to it.
Okay.
So if you did run that 4.39, good for you. In my head, it's a 4.41.
And then I guess exactly like you said, go back to the tape. And I mean, when a guy plays like he runs a 4.3 or a 4.4 flat, right. That's the guy you want. Not a guy that runs that elite time, but he on the field he looks like he's a 4.5 guy. He doesn't look fast.
Right. I.e., which is we talk about the two Georgia corners. They both are running, low 4.3s. But especially with a position like cornerback, where you don't know where you're going every play. So it's a lot of reading, a lot of reacting. You don't have to read and react on a 40. You're just running in a straight line. Mm-hmm. It's easy to run fast. But when you got to think and recover, it's hard to apply that 4.3 speed. So those are the things that you get concerned about when for guys, special years like this, where guys have had shortened seasons. You don't have much game tape to go on for recent game tape. And when you start to overvalue these pro days and these 40 times, it can get you in trouble.
Yeah, it still always comes back to. I mean, I think that's just part of what you evaluated when you're picking these players. But y'all are right. It's your agility, your ability to process information. At this position, now you're willing to tackle, your arm length. It's just so much to consider.
All right. Unless you're, unless you remember the Raiders front office, then you just go draft the fastest dude.
How that working out?
Regardless of position, it's like, oh, that left tackle ran a 4.6. Draft that left tackle second overall.
Get him.
All right.
Get him.
Pooh, who's your sleeper?
My sleeper's Newsome.
Okay, you going Newsome. Okay.
Yeah, my sleeper is Newsome.
Right.
I've watched a lot of film on him. Okay. You can hear me? Am I out?
Yeah. No. Okay. Even though a first round projection guy is not really a sleeper, but go ahead.
I mean, he came out of nowhere though. I mean, because he was injured. He sat out. Mm-hmm. He sat out this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? All right. I'll pull up a new guy.
Don't make me discourage.
No, it's okay.
Your sleeper gonna be drafted 17th overall. It's okay.
Let me pull up.
New rule. A sleeper has to at least be a second rounder.
Let me pull up. Let me go with. I'll go with Elijah Molden.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll go with Elijah Molden. It's a lot of air, air attack out there. Should be a pretty good cover guy. Decent size, pretty good speed. So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, Elijah Molden, is a guy who in 2019 he played in the slot and was blowing everything up. But when his senior year, 2020, some guys moved on. He became the top dog, and he moved to the outside and followed the other team's best receiver and got exposed a little bit. So if he can go back to, if a team drafts him and puts him in the slot and just makes him, a slot guy and not make him the top dog immediately, which he won't be, maybe he can show some of that 2019 form again. But that's a guy who's a sleeper. Spot on, Pooh. Guy who's going to be drafted later, but he's got tons of potential if he can find the right situation and get back in his comfort zone. On to the safeties. We ain't heard a lot about it. Like, none at all. To that point, who's the best safety in this class? Because unless I go back and look at my notes, I'm having trouble remembering one. Well, I know, Trevon Moore, but
that's who I got his number.
Yeah. But even from TCU, the other kid from Oregon, those are the only two safeties that I'm really thrilled about. Who's your top safety?
So he's my top safety,
Yeah.
Javon Holland out of Oregon. I like him a lot. I would put though, in my top three guy at Central Florida, Richie Grant.
Okay.
I think he can. I mean, it's not a deep safety class, not at all, and that I had to do some digging and trying to figure out who I'm going with, because it's just not a lot of players out there in terms of safeties, and not that change your defense type safety just coming out of college. So that's who I'm going with though. But I like Morick though. I do think he's going to be a solid player.
All right. Pooh, who's your top safety?
Man, I was looking at this. I like the kid from TCU.
Yeah, Moore.
I do like the kid out of TCU, 6'2", 202. It's great size, physical, decent speed. But I'm looking at these notes, and they have Elijah Molden I projected as a safety.
Okay.
So I think if he goes safety, that definitely ups his stock.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I like the kid out of Indiana as well, Jamar Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
like him.
Good cover. Yeah, good coverage guy. Good speed. So, those are my top 3 guys. And the Richard Grant, the little guy, not the little guys in stature, but smaller school.
Right.
I like him as well.
Okay. You ever hear of a guy by the name of Hamza Nasiruddin?
Let me look and see if I see him.
Did he fight Muhammad Ali in 1977 in a scrimmage fight?
Yeah, I don't have him on here.
No, I think he was born a little bit after that, Al, but that's close. But Hamza Nasiruddin from Florida State. This guy who has a chance to be a star.
He's a safety?
A safety. 6'3.5", 215.
Good size.
But he's a guy who didn't really have a position at Florida State. He played close to the line, he played safety, he played he's such a big athlete that they just kind of moved him where they needed him. So he kind of played the see how quickly we move on. What was the guy from Clemson last year, rookie, Pooh? Went for the Cardinals.
Isaiah Simmons.
Kind of played him like that. Where he just played him all over the field. He played defense, basically. Kind of like Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa. They just played him where they needed him. Mm-hmm. But he'll be a safety on the next level, likely. But very good size, really strong athlete. If he could land in the right situation with somebody's going to be patient with him and coach him up, and not hold it against him. He's a little raw because he hadn't played a position in 4 years. So just a name that I didn't ask y'all for a sleeper. I just figured I'd throw one out there because this safety class is hard enough to get 2-3 names you're excited about.
For real.
So after he fought Muhammad Ali in the 70s, I guess it took him a while to find another sport he was interested in.
Yeah, I think that was his uncle actually.
It might have been. I think it was. Oh man. So we're gonna go on to our mock draft next week. Regular Scott from Take a Knee from Marvel in DC will be joining us along with Lincoln. So it'll be So Al and Pooh and Scott and Lincoln will go on a round robin of sorts. But Al will be picking for his Cowboys and his Jets. Pooh will be picking for his Bears and his quote-unquote Texans. Lincoln will be picking for the Steelers, and Scott will be picking for the Bills, and then we'll rotate the rest.
Jay.
Yep.
X me out of the Texans, man. Let me pick for the Cards, man.
Okay.
Cards. Yeah, man.
You're not a Texan fan no more?
Nah, Deshaun about to be out of there, man. Directly or indirectly.
No doubt.
Dang. He cut bait quick.
That was the only attachment he had to him. So yeah,
I see. I'm done.
All right. Yeah, we'll put you for your Cards. All right. Cool. But yeah, so that'll be next week's show. Will be our big mock draft show. On to our listener question from Stan in Fort Lauderdale. What up, Stan? Stan wants to know, who's the biggest draft steal in your team's history? I'm a Patriots fan, so mine is pretty obvious. Yeah, Stan, we know who your biggest draft steal is.
I guess he was going with Tom Brady. I guess that's what we're going with.
Oh, I was thinking Teddy Bruschi. Okay, yeah, Tom Brady makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Al, we'll do your Cowboys first. Who's the biggest draft steal in Cowboys history?
So I would would a steal be somebody who, what if they weren't even drafted?
Right. So that's why that's a good point. So it could be somebody who's drafted late or somebody who was undrafted and became, a legend. So.
Okay, yeah. So to me, I'm glad we're going with that, because the one who quickly comes to my head being undrafted was Tony Romo for the Cowboys. Right. And to be undrafted and then one day be a franchise quarterback, I think that would be probably the top. But if we didn't go, if he had to go draft, then my answer was going to be Roger Staubach, who was actually drafted in the 10th round.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. For some reason, I was thinking Captain America had to be a first-round pick. I don't know why.
No. He was drafted late, but it was because he was expected to go into the Navy, so people didn't want to waste a draft pick.
Yeah, got you. Okay. That's a good one. But yeah, Tony Romo, you can't, you go on to become, one of the greatest quarterbacks in a franchise history. Like you said, a franchise quarterback, alone is hard to find even when you're picking them. So to get one that's undrafted, that's pretty unheard of. All right, Pooh, what about your Chicago Bears? Who's the biggest draft steal in Bears history?
Man, I'm looking, and I mean, Roland Cruz anchored us for a long time. He took him in the 3rd round, but I'm torn. Well, Mike Singletary, we drafted him in the 2nd, but during my era that I actually saw and I can remember the draft pick, I have to say Devin Hester in the 2nd, even though it's not late, but man, Devin Hester in the 2nd, man. He flat out, to me, what I saw, he changed us. He was a one-man wrecking crew, with special teams, and honorable mention Lance Briggs in the 3rd round. But I'll sum it up with that. And I got to give a shout out to, I don't remember Peanut Tillman, but I don't think we took him in the 1st or 2nd. Charles Tillman, I can't recall. But scanning over this right here, wow. I guess I could trump all that. Richard Dent, man.
That's what I was about to say, man. What are you looking at?
Hey, scanning over this, man. Richard Dent in the 8th round. That's absolute highway robbery.
Yeah.
Richard Dent in the 8th round. So Richard Dent it is. You guys there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. If you didn't say it, I was damn sure gonna say it at the end.
Hey, Richard Dent, man. 137 and a half sacks over his career.
Right.
7th all time.
Hall of Famer.
4 Pro Bowls. Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Key member of that 85 Bears defense.
The monster of the midway, right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Al, your Jets. Who's the biggest outside of Blair Thomas? Who's the biggest steal?
Well, if you mean by steal as in he stole our money,
the biggest draft thief.
Right, then we'll go with him. So I'm going with Wayne Corbett, undrafted wide receiver, who turned out to be probably top 3 wide receiver in their history. And I think that was, I don't think anybody expected that dude to have that career. So I'm going with Wayne Corbett.
All right. Yeah. Damn good one. Can't really argue with that because, for him to be undrafted and arguably be, the number 1 target over a number 1 overall pick like he shot. It's tough to argue with that one. I am for the Steelers. Just to throw some names out there. Got Antonio Brown drafted in the 6th round. Jesus. Jack Lambert drafted in the 3rd round. Gosh, just tons of guys. But I'm gonna roll with James Harrison being undrafted, being cut 15 times before landing finally on the roster. And when I say cut 15 times, he was literally cut 15 times. Between the Steelers and the Ravens and the Browns, like so many teams just cut him. And they eventually stuck, with the Steelers, and for a guy to go on and be a fringe, borderline, maybe Hall of Famer if he had a longer career, but Defensive Player of the Year. Again, Donnie Shell's another one who could be undrafted, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. But I'm gonna say the guy who had the highest pinnacle from the lowest point, and that's James Harrison.
I think that's a good one.
Hines Ward was a 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, but that's still a premium pick. So all right, Stan from Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale Stan is what they call him. Appreciate you for your question, man.
Great question.
Yeah, we love these questions. Y'all keep firing them at us. You can, if you want to get something off your chest, you just disagree with something we say, hit us up on social media on all platforms at Go Defy Life, or you can email us at info@godefylife.com, and we'll be happy to answer that question. We'll get you on. Pooh, you ready for some trivia?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. What you got?
Man, I was laughing because you guys kept hinting at Mission Impossible.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
And I've been on a kick for a while going with movies, and we're going with Tom Cruise.
Oh God.
We're going with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
We're going with Tom Cruise tonight.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my list up. You
got to run the gamut on Tom movies.
Got to run them on Tom, man.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not a
You
Tom
done?
Cruise fan.
You don't rock with Tom?
Nah, I'm not a Tom Cruise fan at all. I mean, he's had movies that I like, but
Yeah, he's had movies.
But I wouldn't. He ain't my guy. I don't want to have a beer with him and nothing like that.
True. Well, that's how I feel about that.
So congrats, Al.
Hey, that's how I feel about the baseball, man.
Right. Hey, you got to take the crookeds with the straights.
Yeah, you're right. Oh boy. Well, it's no need to keep scoring this one, I guess, since you've already said you about to get beat up. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and start with Jay. Let him run out quickly, Al.
Yeah. Let me get go ahead from the top. It's probably like one of the 3 that I know.
Okay.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. Okay, let me give you Jerry Maguire, 1996. A romantic comedy drama sports film. Okay. Al, on you.
Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men. 1992. American legal drama film based on Aaron Sorkin's 1989 play. Okay. Cool. Jay, on you.
Man.
You know more than what you think, man.
Yeah, right.
What's the one with Top Gun?
Top Gun.
I never saw the movie.
I enjoyed Top Gun.
I
enjoyed Top Gun. Top Gun is a 1986 American action drama film directed by Tony Scott. pretty solid movie.
That's what they say.
Very, very solid. What do we have so far? Just
2-1.
No, I mean, what's the movies? It was A Few Good Men, Top Gun.
Few Good Men, yeah, Top Gun, and A Few Good Men, Top Gun, Jerry Maguire.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you duplicate something, I just say it's duplicated. It won't be a drawback against you. Yeah.
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher was okay, man. Jack Reacher, 2012 American action thriller film, written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. Wow. Okay, pretty solid. Jay, on you.
I think I do know more than I thought I did. Rain Man.
Oh man,
there you go.
Rain Man, solid.
Rain Man was a good one.
Yeah, Rain Man was solid. Rain Man, wow. Again, 1988 American road drama film directed by Barry Levinson. Okay. All right, Al, on you.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Okay. We just want to throw one out there?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I remember there being a Mission Impossible 2. I'm guessing he was in that one too.
Right. It's like 6 of them.
Right.
So
okay.
I'll let each one of you get one. So
okay, that works for me.
I'm gonna go with you, Al. Mission Impossible. Since you said Mission Impossible, boom, give you the original. Mission Impossible is a series, American series, spy films based.
Oh, okay. No, it's not one. Go ahead.
Okay, and it's based on a television series. Okay, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so no more Mission Impossibles.
No, we get one more. Jay, you said one. Jay get one.
Yeah, and it's like, no need of us saying, just give Al 3 and give me 3.
Oh,
there were 6 of them.
Right. We just don't want Mission Impossible.
I didn't know. You could have told me it was 7. Give Al 4, and I got 3. It didn't.
Say no more.
Right.
American Made.
The hell is that?
American.
It's a movie about him as a pilot, and he is the pilot who was delivering cocaine during the Contra.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
the CIA.
I saw that. Right. Okay.
Right. American Made. Yep, is a 2017 American action comedy film directed by Doug Liman. Okay. On you, Jay.
One of my favorite Carowinds rides, Days of Thunder.
Ooh.
Days of Thunder, pretty solid, man.
I don't remember shit about that movie.
Oh man, I watched that.
Wow.
I just know the Carowinds ride was dope.
Okay.
It was the first time I ever went to one.
Oh wow, this is even crazier.
I remember him kicking a bucket in that movie. So,
I got 39 movies on here, and Days of Thunder not on here. Okay, but anyway,
we know it, right.
Right. Okay, Al.
Vampire. Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire. Yep, Interview with a Vampire. 1994 American Gothic horror film. Right, yeah.
Shout out to Pooh and our other podcast, Eyes Wide Shut.
There you go. I was saving that one, but go ahead, get that out the way.
True that.
And I'm done. Al, you got it.
Shut. Eyes Wide Shut, 1999.
I got at least 2
erotic
more.
Mystery. Okay.
I got at least 2 more. The Last Samurai.
Yeah, The Last Samurai. The 2003 American period action drama film. Okay, directed and co-produced by Edward Zwick. Okay.
Damn.
Jay,
what's the one where he was young and Risky Business?
Yep.
Risky Business. Yeah, no, that's a good one. And we know it's on here, but Risky Business is not on.
Oh man, yeah, they're coming back. Okay.
Yeah, that's whack.
You didn't like Risky Business?
No. I did. I'm just talking about why they Risky Business and the other joint not on
here. Collateral with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Collateral, 2004 American neo-noir action thriller film. Directed and produced by Michael Mann.
That was when Jamie was at his peak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jamie was doing.
The kid was getting like 20 mil a movie at that point.
Yeah.
Shit, man, I'm done.
You done?
The kid went in a football movie, Varsity Blues.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I don't even know if he was in that shit.
Yeah, it was a good one, but he was.
Oh, I was about to say I don't even know if he was in it.
He wasn't in it.
No.
Oh, he was in a football movie though. Maybe that wasn't it though. He was in a football movie.
I don't recall it.
That's
Okay,
what I was like. I don't know why. I keep
he
thinking
was in a football movie. I can see him as a young kid, as a football cat. I can't think of what the name of that.
No, bro, y'all bugging.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
look that
thinking
up,
he had.
but he was.
I know he
he
wasn't.
was,
In, I know he wasn't in Varsity. I don't know. He could. I ain't never see it. But.
Okay.
But you got The Firm.
Yeah, The Firm.
Oh, shit,
Cocktail.
Cocktail. Yeah, The Young Tom.
Minority Report. I just forgot about.
Minority Report. Yeah,
and
another one.
The other crazy one. Damn, I'm thinking about Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky. Yeah.
Oh,
I never saw that one.
For real?
I
It's
don't
nuts.
think I've ever seen that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the one he was in when he was a kid, The Outsiders.
Oh, now that was a classic.
Yeah.
The movie.
Like
the book. Like the book.
Yeah, the book.
I ain't even remember Tom being in that. And
yeah, he was one of them.
War of the Worlds.
Oh, War of the Worlds.
Oh, War of the Worlds, yeah.
I just watched with him and Redford, Lions and Lambs or something like that. Lions for Lambs, but it's a movie about the Iran War.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't put it on here. That's whack. The Mummy. Remember, he was in The Mummy.
Was he?
Yeah, the second one maybe. No, he was in one.
Young Guns.
2017.
Oh no, he wasn't in Young Guns.
No, he wasn't in Young Guns. He was in Oblivion.
That's Charlie Sheen. You thinking of?
Edge of.
I'm looking now. I'm on Google. They got him on here.
On Young Guns?
I don't think so. I don't remember him young. The Western?
Google be wilding.
Damn. Good job.
Google be wilding.
Yeah, it must be.
Google got him in
was some
Austin
movie.
Powers. He's in Austin Powers?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Google be
Yeah, they don't have a picture of it, ironically. So yeah, maybe not.
yeah. Google be wild. And Edge of Tomorrow.
That's the movie I was trying to remember, where it's like he getting killed every day.
Yeah, it's almost like Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Oh, I never saw that.
It came out. It dropped 2014.
Oh wow. Valkyrie. Never saw Valkyrie.
I recall I don't
remember Valkyrie.
I didn't watch it, but I remember the commercials and ads, and I think I remember him in it. But I don't remember him in Magnolia, and they said he was in it. And I don't remember Night and Day in 2010. I don't remember that.
Oh, the
Some
Color
movie
of
called
Money.
Taps. I don't remember.
Who?
With Paul Newman.
Oh, I've heard of that. I never saw
That's Color of Money, if I remember correctly. It's about
The
a
Color
cool
of Money.
hustler. It's like a hustler.
Yeah. He was a hustler. Yeah. He was a hustler. He was a bad boy in that one.
it.
That wasn't bad.
He was in The Color of Money.
Yeah.
Paul Newman.
And this says Rock of Ages. I don't recall that either. 2012 American Jukebox musical. I don't recall him in that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But like I said, Google be wilding.
Yeah, I mean, when you met, I remember him being in it. I never saw it.
What, the jukebox joint?
Oh no, I'm talking about Rock of Ages.
Oh, for real? I don't even know. I have a clue what that is.
Me neither.
I remember the commercials for that.
Okay.
Oh man, we've got All the Right Moves. That's the football movie he was in.
Yeah, All the Right Moves, a football movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I remember the name, but I don't remember like the actual content of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw it, but I'm looking at the cover of it, and I was like,
okay.
I remember seeing clips. That's just from 1983. I don't remember that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Born on the 4th of July.
That's when he was a veteran.
I remember that? Yeah, I remember that.
I forgot about this one. The Others, with Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah, the kind of like the scary
Ghost. Yeah, that one was good.
Him and the lady, what's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
That's when they were.
I think that was his wife. Right.
Yeah. Uh-huh. They did like 2 movies when they were married, I think.
Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut and The Others.
Yeah.
And the rest, Elizabethtown, Losing It. Never saw any of those.
Nah, I don't recall either one of those.
Narc.
I remember Narc. He was in Narc.
No.
He wasn't in Narc. He was in Narc?
Nah, that was what's that guy? Colin something. That wasn't it. They just like every brown haired actor, they just confuse him with Tom Cruise.
Right, because he damn sure in the credits.
I do not. Narc was a pretty solid movie though. Yeah. Narc was.
After Dusk. Whatever that is. Yeah, I think they're just running out of shit now. They're just putting.
Yeah, they're running out. Yeah, they'll carry on. Like I said, they'll carry on.
Yeah. I don't know. He wasn't. I don't know. I just shit. If I ever get like Yosh and want to cheat, I know not to go to Google.
No.
That's what Google said.
Hey, they'll run you up the wall now.
Right. Him and Miggs be done died on there going to Google.
No, they'll run you up the wall now.
Oh wow. Oh, Tropic Thunder. I forgot he was in that.
Well, I don't remember that one.
Tropic Thunder when him and what's the guy that play Iron Man? Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. plays a white man playing a black man.
Yeah, I remember.
They like in the army and in the military. It's like a movie of them making a movie or some shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, he was in Austin Powers, the one with Beyonce.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely recall that.
Wow, some of these things. Okay, I guess that's. I guess you got them all then. I mean, we didn't get them all.
Yeah.
But listen, looking them up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Congrats, Al. I knew he was gonna kick my ass because I didn't know this. Oh man. Well, you won. What you got for me? What's your parting shot?
My parting shot is just today marked a day where we moved in the right direction with our criminal justice system. And it is not, we are not where we want to be, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. So when you get those days, you need to take the time to acknowledge that we are walking in that is a step in the right direction, because there are going to be so many other days where we're headed in the other direction. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And like many people around the world, I was hopeful, encouraged, just elated to see that the justice system worked the way it was supposed to work, where someone was held accountable for a heinous act. And that's the way it's supposed to work. And that's what people were screaming for throughout this summer. So as we remember a year ago where, all of the protests and the social justice calls were going around, and people are like, well, what is it that you're looking for? Some of what we were looking for happened today. And so I just want to acknowledge the prosecutors for doing their job, the family for holding society accountable for trying to get justice, for the jurors for doing their job and following the evidence, and just glad to be here today, because it would have been, if it had went the other way, it wasn't going to be a good day. So I'm glad it did not go that way, and it's something to be hopeful for. See y'all next week.
All right. No doubt. Pooh, what you got for me?
Man, I want to second that. I definitely want to second that. And I also want to, now with the little leakage of the video with the young lady, man, that was gunned down. I guess it, bittersweet. On one end of the spectrum, like Al said, this happens and someone does something that was wearing a badge, and he's definitely being held accountable for it. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have this other guy. Like, I haven't seen the video. I've only heard about it. I don't know if you guys seen it or not. Mm-mm. Oh, really? It was a 15-year-old girl, if I'm not mistaken. Some girls, like 3 girls, were trying to jump her. She called the cops. Now, I don't know how accurate this story is. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but so this came to me by a lot of different people. So everything might not be as accurate as it should be, but the bottom line is what it is. The cops came out. The girl was fending the girls off with a knife. And so the cops jumped out of the car, no questions asked, and put five in the little girl. Just gunned her down. And it's on video. The girl's yelling. She was like, "Yo, you just got out of your car and shot her." Like, why would you do that? You didn't say put the weapon down or anything. You just, and she was like, well, she's the one who called you. And you just gunned her down. And you hear the girl screaming in agony, and it's crazy, man. I'm just speechless.
Where did it happen at?
Ohio.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, man. I was kind of surprised at how numb I was when the verdict was read today. Because I actually went in thinking, they're gonna find him guilty. I guess it's kind of our OJ moment where we get to win one. But as satisfied as I am with Derek Chauvin being found guilty on all charges, what I don't want us to do is mistake accountability for justice. This was accountability. He was held accountable for something he did. Justice is bigger than one outcome. We're still fighting for justice. What we can't do is stop at this one quote unquote bad apple and forget that the whole damn system is rotten from the roots up. So we can't let this one bad apple being held accountable allow us to forget that there's still a whole system that needs to be overhauled. We got to dig this tree up and de-root it and plant a new one. So this one bad apple is being held accountable. And that's, like in sports, we are a sports-centric show. So let's celebrate for the day and prepare for the next one. Because like Pooh just mentioned, this won't be the last one. It already ain't the last one. So we got a long way to go. And, I'm sure the people who choose to bury their heads in the sand and pretend that, police brutality or racism and systemic racism is not a thing in this country. They'll try to tell you that, and they'll try to make you feel bad for speaking up for yourself. But we got a long way to go. We've come a long way, but it still don't mean we've accomplished what we want to. So again, don't let accountability be mistaken for justice. We got work to do. That's all I got.
Here.
Guys, great show. Next week, looking forward to this mock. See Pooh trade up to the first pick and take Mitch Trubisky back from Buffalo.
Go ahead, man.
Oh man, guys, great show, man. Shout out to Al and Jerry. Looking forward to the show after Gate. Y'all be on the lookout for it. On the Defy Life Network. We'll talk to y'all next week. It's been a great one. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
We're told that greatness is exceptional when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life Gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit DefyLifeGear.com to get fitted for greatness.